that time again. Grab a friend, sit down, unwind a bit. Tack and J, keeping it real. Can't you see the appeal? They got the jokes, the smoke, and the current events. You know the deal. Soak up that lemon water, tell all your friends. Encouragement for your flourishment is where we begin. Have you heard of it? It's substance. Where have you been? Free your mind.
Welcome back to another episode of Lemon Water Chronicles podcast, man. I'm your host, Tac. Tonight we got the co-host, Just Aaron, in the house, but we got a special guest. I think it's, because my camera messed up, y'all, right here. Drum roll, please. Mercedes, welcome to the Lemon Water Chronicles podcast. What's up?
Hey. What's up?
Yes. Give it up. So, ladies, how have you guys been? What's going on?
Oh, I've been good. Today's been a great day to podcast and talk, So, yeah, what about you, Mercedes?
Yeah, today for me, it's been super relaxed. I've been mentally preparing for the podcast. So I've been in this vibe for a second. So I'm feeling good about everything.
Yeah, I'm over here, got my Paul Santo going too. So I feel you. Like
hey.
that's my oof. Well, we got some topics tonight. Aaron, I'll let you lead off with whichever one you want to choose from.
Okay. So just a general topic. How is everyone's health today? As of today, how is everybody's health? Let's start with you, T.
My health?
Yeah.
So you talking general health? Okay. Well, I say like right now it's actually a lot better than it was because at one point it was like I was just going downhill. And it felt like I was going downhill. But like I just had to kind of like refocus, retap in. I re-implemented a new like workout schedule, pseudo workout schedule, a new sleep.
What does that mean?
A new workout schedule? It means
what is a pseudo workout?
Pseudo? Oh, like kind of sort of. It's like an expensive $30 word for saying kind of sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But I can give you an official definition in a minute after I look up Google. But I know what it means.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What about you?
Well, I feel like my health is good, but I have not been getting enough rest. And I feel like that makes a big difference with health. I feel like so many things can be solved with just getting a good amount of rest. And me, I'll stay up, I'll be doing a bunch of different things, and I can just go to sleep, wake up refreshed, and do those same things. But I'm like, well, you got to get to it. So I'm really trying to change my mind around resting so I can be, the good kind of productive I want to be.
Right. So how do you prepare to get good rest? How are you trying to better your rest?
Okay. So for me personally, I feel like my devices have to be shut off at a certain time. Yeah. So I feel like I shouldn't be looking at social media or emails, anything like that after like 8 p.m. So that's one of the ways. Two, I feel like early. You said what, Aaron?
That's early.
Yeah, it is.
But like, I get it, yeah.
Yeah. And then I also feel like eating goes with that as well. Because if I'm eating super late, then I'm not really trying to rest, like I'm focused on food. So I would have to get my schedule a little bit more in line. So having breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a good time. I was at the point where I was eating like no later than 6 p.m. But that got kind of hard because it gets busy, life gets busy. So I'm working on those things. I'm working on eating at the right times so I can get to sleep. And then when I eat late, I feel really bad when I wake up because it's like that food just sit there. Like I don't feel as refreshed. So getting good rest to me is going to bed, on my herbs instead of on, a big stomach full of food, and shutting down my devices so my mind can be a little bit more quieter and prepared for bed.
How many hours do you consider getting good rest?
I'd say personally, 7 hours does me just fine. I can go for 8 hours, but if I'm doing like 9 or 10, I feel really sleepy when I get up. So 7 hours is really good.
Okay. Yeah. I might have to implement that into my wellness lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like how many hours do you usually get, Aaron? Like you talking about resting, like what do you sleep normally?
Normally, I'll probably sleep from about 10 p.m. to about 6 a.m. And I wake up every day at 6 a.m. on the dot. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
so however many hours that is, you calculate because I don't know, but that many hours.
It's like 8. It's like 8-ish.
Yeah, you're getting good sleep.
That's
Your
good.
circadian rhythm is good.
But then the question is, like, are you eating too close to the time that you lay down that your body's not actually letting you rest, that you just working overnight?
Because I've been, like you said, Mercedes, because things have been popping up in my life, my eating has been later, and I have noticed that I'll be sleepy after I wake up, or like in the midday when I usually wouldn't be sleepy, I'll be sleepy like at work, like around 12 or 1-ish when it's lunchtime and it's time to eat. You know, I'll get sleepy, which is unusual for me. So I'm trying to get that back into rhythm, because over the past 4 days I've been out of town having to move at different times, and I was in a different time zone. So the last 2 days it's been a little bit of a struggle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what your sleep schedule look like, T?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like part of like what we just said. Like it's better now because I've actually been like making myself lay down at like midnight or like 11, but like, you know, having to edit and do different things for like what my career calls for, it will have you, like you said, Aaron, like eating later or things like that. But it's like when I reassessed it, it was like, okay, no, it's not about what it's having me do. Like I have to be in control over like the discipline of laying down around this time. You know, what's not done. Like if I've been productive, I try to be as productive as possible. And then if I feel like I haven't been productive, I try, you know, I meditate on whatever it is. I meditate daily. If I can't get the meditation in, then I try to work out or vice versa. Like one or the other one, you know, one of the two has to happen. I guess like 6 hours now. It used to be 3 or 4.
Wow. I mean, I guess that's a good
increase.
gap right there from 3 to 6.
It's an increase because, you know, your heart only needs 4 hours to operate properly, but that's like bare minimum though.
I heard you mention meditation. Mercedes, do you meditate?
Yes, I meditate maybe 5 days a week.
What does that look like for you? What is meditation? What's the element? What's the atmosphere like? What goes on in your head? What does that look like?
For me, meditation, it's my time to silence my mind, but not in a forceful way. It's just trying to make sure that I clear my energy from the previous day. So really, I want to get into it at night, like T was saying, but as of right now, I only do it in the morning. I have my user going over here. Okay. I'll put something like frankincense in it because frankincense helps to calm the mind down. And I
need to write that down.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Super good. But also when I'm meditating, I just try to make sure that I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I work off of an app called Insight Timer.
Ooh,
so I don't.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
I use that.
I don't do it on my own. Yeah, it's super great. And they have like so many different teachers, and it's like I can easily find my rhythm because it's a variety on the website or on the app. Do you meditate, Aaron?
I don't necessarily call it meditation. I call it like a reflection time. That's what I like to call it, where I'm literally by myself going through, you know, what happened through my week or day. And I'll, you know, figure out in my mind what can be done better. What can I do better for the next day? That's what my meditation looks like. Maybe about a year ago, I was doing the sit down, meditation, like the real calming meditation, working on my breathing and things like that. But like I was saying earlier, things have really picked up and gotten busy. So I just use, the time that I have to reflect and just kind of decipher different scenarios that have happened in my day or week.
Yeah.
I really think that's what meditation is about, or calming the mind and body, like just using the time you have and, making it work.
So then I have been meditating.
Oh yeah, facts. Like it helps me to like address, like calming the mind for sure. And then it's like addressing the things that you're already thinking about. It's kind of like a soulful brain dump where like all the stuff that's been circulating in your mind, that's how I do it. So like, for example, how I meditate, I use the insight timer as Mercedes mentioned. And then I set I got my little preset. So I have like, oh yeah, insight timer is I text it to both y'all. Like, I text it to you, just Aaron. Yeah. Since just Aaron. No, I'm just playing. But nah, let's just say I set one for 5 minutes, and I'll do like a 5-minute timer with 5 interval bells, and you can pick like different bells, what pitches you want to hear, stuff like that. So each bell represents a minute. So for each minute, I will choose something to focus on, like a mantra. I created like new mantras for myself. Like my whiteboard is like full of mantras, but I use that whiteboard for like everything. But that same whiteboard, what comes from the whiteboard eventually goes into my journal. And then my journal has like stuff I want to aspire to. Like I have different journals. Like one journal is like solely for like workout. And it's got like all my workouts in it, the ones that I've done, the ones that I plan on doing. Went for a walk today, hope this helps or something like that. And then I have like a regular journal that has like life stuff. Like work was crazy today, trying to not strangle a client or something.
That when you're cussing people out in that journal.
Right. But it's like, it's better that you write it down and get it out of your mind on paper. So that way it helps you process. When those things come back around, your attitude is different. Your approach is different. People are like, Tac, how are you just so chill and all that kind of stuff? I'm like, bro, because I'll be writing it down on y'all. Because it's like, I used to just get right. Yeah, man. So I'd give myself like a 20-second countdown. And then it'll count down from 20, and then the first bell will hit. And then that's why I do like a super deep ass breath, like it's as much air as I can get in my chest, and then I blow it out, and then I just relax, and then I don't think about anything. And then the mantra is focus on nothing. And I'll say that 3 times in my Kundalini. Like I'll say it 3 times. Or if I say my Kundalini, man, my third eye, bro. Like you gotta open that.
Okay.
You gotta open that. Kundalini. Look it up. It's there. It's there.
I know. I don't know what it means. I ain't never heard that word before.
Oh, okay. All right. Man, yes, you have.
I have not.
Okay. My bad, just Aaron. I'm sorry, just Aaron. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm new to this, not true to this, like y'all.
No, man. Mercedes, don't let her fool you. She is tapped in, okay? Because when we finish doing like boxing, after our sessions, we usually go in when it comes to like the life stuff, the spiritual stuff, the questioning stuff, the business stuff, like all that. So don't let her fool you. She's very educated, extremely spiritually tapped in. Look at her skin. It's glowing. Both of y'all skin. Y'all glowing.
Hallelujah. That's called water and good skincare.
Yeah. I looked at your IG, Aaron. I be seeing you do your thing. You was doing your exercise.
Thank you. Hey, follow Trial and Aaron on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not just Aaron. I'm just Aaron on here.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I do my stuff. Like I got these 5 pillars the new 5 pillars I live my life by are like, exercise, meditation, drumming, because I play drums, yoga or some form of stretching, and then rest. Like those are my new 5 like pillars that I'm trying to like real deal center my life around, because with those as my foundation, I feel like anything that I create outside of that is going to be positive. Like even if it feels negative in a time where you're like, this is really hard or this is a challenging situation, but that you have those 5 pillars to fall back on. I have to do more work. Though I feel like doing the works like that is like trusting God more for yourself. And so how you know God, like, or whatever you choose to do. So yeah.
Having faith. Yeah. Having faith in your journey.
So what do you think your journey is? Like, Mercedes, like what are you on the chase for? What are you on the hunt for?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know, right?
Spill the beans.
I try.
Well, honestly, I can tell you my motives for right now, but I do feel like it's always shifting for me. And I find that interesting. So right now, I guess my journey is just diving deeper into what makes me happy and what makes me feel good and what makes me feel free. And I love sharing that with other people because I feel like a lot of us do want to feel free or be free. And I don't know if we're feeling that as a whole. So it makes me happy to share those things because I mean, life be life, and like you said, so
life be life.
Life be life. That's the title of this podcast.
Okay, that would be the title of that would be the title of the show. It's written down. Life be life and featuring ladies.
But honestly, just existing and feeling good in my existence. That's the biggest thing for me. And of course, I want the things that comes with it that provides more freedom. I do desire those things, but more than anything, I desire to feel good and to heal through the things that have hurt me and to pass that along. Because if you pass it along, then somebody else will pass it along and it just keeps going. So that's where I'm at.
That's deep.
So I have a follow-up question for that. Do you think you have to be physically hurt or sick to heal?
Physically sick or hurt to heal? No, I don't. I believe mental hurt is just like physical hurt, and I've experienced both. I have sickle cell anemia, as both of you know, and physically, sickle cell is a whole beast. Okay.
Yeah.
Like when those crises come, it's just I question my life sometimes. The crisis gets so bad.
Wow.
And mentally, the pain or the trauma that you experience from going through something so physical does hurt. But sometimes I'm dealing with mental things that feel way worse than sickle cell. So I feel like I've been on both ends of the spectrum. So I feel like it's not just, you don't have to just be hurt physically to heal. Like I feel like mental healing is everything because mental comes out physically. Like people break out in hives and like they lose a lot of weight or gain a lot of weight. Mental comes out physically, definitely. So
wow.
And so like what do you do to combat? Like what do you do to combat that? Like how do you like you said pain crises, is that what they're called? Crises, whatever. How do you get through it? Like what do you do?
Now the good thing is I do have a partner that is very supportive. So when I am going through physical pain, I'm really blessed that he's here to help me. But on my own, there is a certain level of thinking that I have to have so I can be okay. So in the middle of crisis, like sometimes I'm complaining to God. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. But when I've been doing the work, I'm like, my body is feeling better. Like I'm not lying to myself. I'm telling my body what I need it to do. And it responds, and sometimes it doesn't. But when I react to sickle cell in a more positive way mentally, it carries me a little different the next day than if I was negative. So the next day, aside from the mental work, I make sure I do the physical work too. So making sure that I put the nutrients back in my body that needs to be there. Like sometimes I sweat out a lot during a crisis. I make sure I'm putting the electrolytes back in. I love coconut water. That's my jam.
All right.
Yeah.
Herbal soup, like Aaron was talking about earlier.
I love Cmos.
See, and I want to implement that because I know Cmos is super good. Yeah, I definitely like that.
What does it taste like? What does Cmos taste like? Is it nasty?
It tastes good. No, I mean it tastes.
Is it like seaweed or something? Like
Not to me. Like to me, it tastes like salty because that's how much I
like salt.
kind of, but it's like a salty sea-like taste.
Yeah.
Dirt. It's got like it's grainy. You know what I'm saying? But what I eat mine raw. Like I can eat it straight out the jar. I eat like a teaspoon of it in the morning and then a teaspoon before I go to bed. If I don't do it that way, I'll put 2 teaspoons in a smoothie. Strawberries, blueberries, pineapples, spinach, power greens in addition to the spinach if I feel like it. And then I'll add like a colon cleanse, a parasite cleanse, and the Cmos. So all that'll be in one because I don't want to, the capsules break open and you can just
sound like a divine drink right there.
Right.
Well, that's why I look divine and feel that way. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like that's how tapped in I was. Like I used to do, man, when I like really got on my journey at one point, I'm still on it. But when I was like real deal tapped in, Aaron, you remember like you met me like at the beginning. But yeah, man, smoothies really help. Fasting really helps. Resting really helps. Like fasting is one of our topics tonight too. So like, do y'all fast or what do you think about it? Do you utilize it?
I'll let you go first, Mercedes.
I'm weak.
Okay, so with fasting, I'm just now diving into that world, honestly, but I love it. And I started fasting when I started feeling like my chest was hurting. Because for me, a chest infection means a possible pneumonia. I was hospitalized in 2020 for pneumonia. They thought I had COVID. I did not, but I did have a pretty intense chest infection, which was pneumonia. So I started fasting and leveling up on my health to make sure that I wouldn't be hospitalized. So I started taking oil of oregano. I made soup from all veggies and I strained all the veggies out and just consumed the broth. I maybe had watermelon as my solid food for the day and I had all water. So that's what fasting currently looks like for me. I'm really wanting to get into it to where I can do the juice fast and to where I can go multiple days without having solid food. But my mindset hasn't developed far enough for me to be at that point yet, but I know it will. It's just I gotta set into it.
Right. You gotta just be like, look, brain, we doing this.
You can do it.
It's happening right now.
Yeah, we were setting out to do 5 days. No solid foods, just water and herbal tea. And nothing else in between. So we didn't eat like fruit, vegetables, we didn't eat anything. All we did was just drink water and drunk herbal tea. And that's all we did for like 6 days. So, right. And then that was the part that like really taught me more. Okay. So like, yeah.
82 days. So y'all some beasts.
But I mean, 2 days is good too for your digestive system to rest because everything that we consume out here that's like solid. I mean, all the food in America is not hitting. Like, and then even some of the vegetables, unfortunately, they're GMOs. But then nutritionists speak highly of GMOs being okay because some of them are this and that or whatever. Because Aaron, you know more about that because I think you got into the nutritional field. You're in there now, right?
Oh, so yeah. I'm into nutrition. Eventually, I want to get into nutritional psychiatry, which is learning how food makes us behave as humans. And from what I've learned, doctors they do speak positively about some GMO foods because the modifications that have been made have evolved the food to keep up with the current human. But I do believe that what God put here on this earth originally is what we should be eating and having.
Yeah.
So I am
not. You feel like we should be eating
GMO foods.
So we should only be eating fruits, nuts, and grains, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that right now, Yes.
Okay.
Especially like with there being so much sickness in the world and stuff like that. Now, I would say I am not a strict fruit, vegetable, and grain eater yet, but I do plan to get there. And this is a tidbit and a spoiler alert for the people listening and you guys. In March, I'm doing I'm calling it a wellness reload, and it's the trial run because my name is Trial and Aaron on Instagram.
Hey.
Yeah, so it's for 10 days. It's gonna be in March. I'll drop the dates and everything, but it's gonna be a group of people physically working towards the wellness lifestyle that that we think that we're supposed to have, or that I know that I'm supposed to have. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tea spill for you.
I'm looking forward.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it too. I'm a bit nervous about it. But you know, ideas have been coming to me about it left and right. And it just seems like God is just like, do it. Like he's like pushing me literally. Like I can feel like I was explaining, I say like a lot, but anyway, I was explaining to my friends, you know how when cats, they play with toys, the toy will literally be dangling in front of their face and they're like chasing to get it. That's exactly how I feel when I deal with this. I feel like the success is like literally dangling in front of my face. And I'm like almost grabbing it. So I feel like this is God's way of just like go grab it.
Yeah.
So
got to go to get.
Gotta go get it.
I hear the passion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you completed what was it, 105 hard, or what was it you did?
105.
95 or what was it?
It was a thing called 75 hard. So Mercedes. It was a thing where I was taking a progress picture every day, drinking a gallon of water every day, working out twice a day, with one of those workouts being outside, no alcohol. I had to pick a diet and stick to it for 75 days.
That's
and
amazing.
If you mess up within those 75 days, you have to start from the top.
So
I didn't mess up.
Yes.
It was so challenging.
Yeah, you got a lot of discipline.
Well, you know, I just think it's just like telling myself no, you know, and setting boundaries.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, it's challenging it used to be really challenging for me. Now, like one of my focuses has been like direct communication, like making it understood what I can and cannot do, where I can and cannot be, like simple. Just keep it simple. Yeah, no, I'm not available. And then when people are just like, well, why not? And it's just like, well, you never need to feel like you have to give someone your schedule so they can understand where you're coming from. Like, you know, protect yourself, tap into things for yourself. And I feel like that's like one of the things, like Mercedes, you had mentioned turning off your devices by like 8 p.m. That's good. That's discipline. I feel like that, like, you know, getting a good night's rest or just having like some kind of break from technology is imperative.
So I have a question. T, you told us, you know, your boundaries for your wellness. Mercedes, what are your boundaries? What are your absolutely nots when you're on your wellness kicks?
I don't do last minute very well.
Okay.
So I feel like it takes me out of my element, out of my zone. Like, for instance, you all, well, it's not near me, but I have a calendar, a planner, and every day is planned out pretty much for like 2 to 3 weeks in advance. And that's just, and that's between me going to work. Because I'm really serious about the commitment that I've made for my life. So I schedule in when I'm going to be at job 1, job 2, when I'm doing YouTube videos, when I'm getting my workouts in, when I need to cook, family time, like everything is planned. And of course, it doesn't always go like that. But if it's an emergency, then of course, you know, I'll drop whatever I'm doing to be there. But sometimes I feel like people want your time, And they can have it if you're not setting boundaries. So it could be something that is not saying what they have going on is not important, but it can wait. Like some things can wait.
Agreed.
Meantime, you trying to get your 30-minute walk in so your blood can flow better because you have sickle cell. You trying to stay out the hospital, but you drop it to go do something that might not be as important as staying out the hospital. So my boundary is just pretty much, I need to know ahead of time what we're doing unless it's an absolute emergency. So that's how I protect myself. And I used to have a lot of trouble with doing that. But now that I've started doing it, people love and respect it. And I used to think I would be disliked for it, but it's received really well. So
yeah.
So how do you so when someone comes to you and it's what 6:45 and they want you to be somewhere at 7:15, 7:30, how do you let them down?
People really don't do that to me anymore.
Okay.
Hey,
they already know, like,
don't call Mercedes. Don't call her. She not coming.
Don't call her. She already know. Her phone probably off.
If it ain't 2 or 3 weeks in advance, she ain't coming.
It's so serious to me. Like I've got.
I respect that.
Journey. And 6 years ago, I was calling it self-preservation. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but I knew I was taking time out to read. So my family, they would call me. And like T said, you put your phone on silent mode. So I would put my phone on silent mode. Yeah. And if someone would text me, I'd be like, hey, I'm doing self-preservation right now.
Nice.
And a lot of people are like, what's that? So I explain it and they're like, oh, okay, take your time. So
yeah.
I might have to implement. Let me write that down too.
Yeah, go on, write that down. Add it to the list.
Look,
add it to the
no
list.
last minute.
None of that. So what about you, Aaron? Like, what are your boundaries to protect yourself in your journey?
So, my boundaries are, well, currently with food, I am completely no beef, no pork at all. No beef products, no pork products. That's a boundary of mine. That's my absolutely not. I am no sodas. That's a absolutely not. And recently, and I would say as recent as in the past month, regarding other people, I am coming into a place where when I'm in a positive mood, I don't really allow people to bring negativity into that. Now, not saying that I'm not willing to listen to a friend if they're having a hard time or anything like that, but as far as pertaining to myself, so like criticisms and negative comments regarding the lifestyle that I have, because a lot of people don't agree with the wellness journey lifestyle. A lot of people have what, I don't know what the word is, but they have reserves about it because they don't know what it is. So when people try to, talk down on it and like, oh, you don't eat beef or pork, or you're gonna get sick and all of that, I'm just, that's a boundary of mine. I don't deal with that because I don't need any of that up here. So those are my small boundaries, but my boundary list is growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's super good too, because sometimes people can get in your head and then it distracts you, and what you're doing, and you could be on the right path, but if somebody get in there and plant that seed, now you maybe start taking a different path that, is not meant for you. So I think that's a great thing.
Right. And I even do that with things that I see on social media. So let's say I'm scrolling TikTok or Instagram and I see something that I don't like. Oh, not interested. Don't show me this. Oh, I'm unfollowing you.
Yeah, I say social media, they do a pretty good job of like filtering out what you don't like. Because like
Mhm.
one of my Instagrams is like solely dedicated to filmmaking and photography and stuff like that. You know, I mean, at the most, I got like a whole lot of dogs. I love dogs. So it's like filmmaking, photography, and dogs. Like those are the three things that come across that one. On the podcast page is more so, it's a general smorgasbord of everybody, but
Mhm.
all the extra negative stuff, I usually filter that out, like the fight videos and all that. It's like, I like watching people defend themselves that can defend
World
themselves
star.
well. Yeah, all that world star stuff, I left that in 2012, bro. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, you fuel a website that pushes out constant negativity. Now, I'm not saying that that's why he had to pass. Because I think they said he had heart problems and some other stuff. And they were like, you know, condolences to the family and all that. But then, like, the world, does it still exist? Is World Star still a website?
Yes, it's still a website.
See what I'm saying? And so it's like, I feel like, you know, my personal opinion is that something like that should have probably just, you know, went down with the owner, because we don't need to really continue too much more negativity. It's sad that negativity is like the one thing that people like flock to.
I mean, well, because that's all we've pretty much been shown. We grew up with our grandmothers and mothers and older people. They watch the news all the time. Nothing
It's
ever is
super
good
negative.
happening good on the news. So
Right.
like that's just kind of like has been installed in us to follow the story, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's what.
I got a question for both of y'all. How much bigger should you be dreaming?
I believe a person should dream like no one is watching or judging them. Like whatever your natural inclination is, I feel like you should go for that. But I feel like sometimes your dreams are not pursued because maybe it doesn't happen quick enough. Maybe you feel like there are people who don't agree with what you're doing. So I honestly feel like we should dream as if no one is watching. That's what I try to do every single day of my life. And sometimes I put out content and I'm like, oh, was that okay? Or I question myself at times, but I have affirmations that I tell myself every single day to remind myself that what you're doing is putting out love, peace, light, joy. It's making other people happy. It's making them feel something good. Because as we were just talking about, there's so much in the world we're taught to follow the story. So why not be taught to follow a good story? Even if you make a fool of yourself, like, can you really make a fool of yourself?
Right, exactly. No, you can't. I don't feel like you can if you're living in your purpose. That's something that could be like potentially for you to do for the rest of your life, or one of the things that you do for the rest of your life.
I agree. Because I think my dreams are pretty far-fetched. Like they out there.
Yeah.
That's
Remember
dope.
the cat scenario? The toy is more like, you know, down the street and around the corner, and I gotta run to kind of catch up to it. So I agree. You should dream as big as your mind can see. I don't think there's a limit on how much or how big you should dream, because it's your headspace. It's your safe haven, you know, to dream and to believe that something that's far greater than what you've ever known or what you've ever seen is possible. I think that's a great and positive aspect of the mind to have.
Most definitely. I feel like it's God given. Like he gives us all vision. So
because
not to go after.
Right. Just let's say if everybody was dreaming small right now, we would probably be discovering fire in 2022. You know,
Right.
So you know, the bigger the better.
Yeah, dare to dream. And what about you, T?
I would say the same. Piggybacking off of you guys, for real. Like, you should dream so much it makes you scared. Scared in a good way, but then you also have to reteach yourself that scared is good. So like my senior quote when I graduated high school was one I took from my mom, and it says, true growth comes from placing yourself in by constantly and consistently placing yourself in uncomfortable situations. So anything that you do over and over again, you know, you've gotten really good at it, you've gotten comfortable, you can find ways to tweak it and perfect it and make it different, add to it, whatever. But then like there's some stuff that you do that you just know you're good at and you can't mess up on it. You should still continue to do those things, but you also need to like realize that, okay, I'm the biggest fish in this pond. It's time for me to find a river. Once you get used to the river and you swimming against that current, you beat the current. Now you need to start looking for rivers are like flowing bodies of water that lead to oceans. So then you want to find the ocean. Now you want to find the ocean and figure out how to swim in that ocean with like multiple different creatures. How are you going to survive? How are you going to eat? How are you going to maintain your sanity throughout that? And it's like you have to have a foundation for yourself, and you always have to return to that foundation or your center. Meditation, a good walk. How people overestimate a good walk. Like I see you. I see you on the ground. I see you on there. Like you be like, got me a good walk in, and I be like, I was like, I need to go for a walk too. And I get Brinker and be like, man, let's go outside and hit this complex one time, and then and
wait,
it's like,
Mercedes, you can walk in the cold.
Oh, on my treadmill at home.
Oh.
Not in the cold.
Okay.
Like I ain't walking outside. Well, I mean, yeah, you better plan it 3 weeks in advance. So she ain't coming. She ain't gonna be walking nowhere. This has been planned in advance.
That's funny.
That's gonna have to be like the going joke. It's like, so has it been 3 weeks? We need to get with Mercedes and see if she can do something. Like,
that's how it gotta be.
Hey, that ain't no joke. That's real stuff.
oh yeah, off top for sure. Dream so much it makes you scared, and then do it anyway.
Yeah,
do it scared, because
Do it.
if you don't do it, then you'll only build your fear more and more and more. The book is called Fear, isn't it, Aaron? And we were all talking about.
Yes.
By
Osho.
Did you finish it?
I have not finished it. Okay, so that book, I really, it's not one of those books that you continuously read. Well, in my opinion, right. I pick it up when I feel fear, and I'll read it. I'll pick that book up and I'll read it when in times I feel doubt or I'll feel fear, literally. And every time I picked it up, it gives me some new inspiration. So yeah, that's what I kind of use that book for.
And it's called Fear.
Yeah.
Fear by Osho.
By Osho.
In the book, he really explains why fear is and how it keeps us in line and in order with the earthly things. And it keeps us inside of our mind and doing negatively. So it's a really good book. You should pick it up.
As soon as I get it, I'm gonna read through the first chapter, and I'm gonna let y'all know.
Oh, the first. That's all.
Oh, the first chapter is the hardest. Like, shoot, the first page for real. Like, just the first line says, "Go into your fear, silently enter into it, so you can find its depth." And sometimes it happens that it's not very deep.
I feel that.
Yeah, off real. It's one of them.
Yeah.
So Fear by Osho.
What books do you read, Mercedes? Or have you read in the past?
Yeah, your top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 reading list. Go. No.
So I'm looking at my bookshelf now.
All right.
So let's see. Okay, The Power of Now is one of my absolute favorite books.
Right.
The Power of Now. Gifts from A Course in Miracles. I've been reading that book for about 4 years, because it's one of those books, it just keeps reminding you of certain lessons and you get something different from it every time. So that's number 2. Number 3, Prescriptions for Natural Cures, 3rd edition. And I really love that one because it covers a lot of different sicknesses, and it tells you how to help them naturally. Okay.
I need that book.
It's so good. Like, you would love it. Brene Brown, The Gifts of Imperfections by Brene Brown. I love that one. And Brene Brown actually had a documentary on Netflix. I forgot what it was called, but if you put in Brene Brown on Netflix, you can find it. But it was so good. Okay. And number 5, I really love this book called The Surrendered Wife. Like, I'm not married yet, but I love how it's helping me to be a better partner. And
That's dope.
yeah, so
I feel
those
like
are my
more people should tap into that, like trying to be a better partner for
Mhm.
your person, but for real, being a better partner for yourself. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the first relationship, you know, besides your mom and your dad, if you were fortunate to have those two, is yourself. Like, people don't teach you enough about having a relationship with yourself. And I
Right.
think now is a good time where people actually have started to tap into, or at least I have navigated enough to find folks that like center in around that. And you know, you got like the positive pages, like, you know, me and Erin send stuff back and forth like all day, like, you know, check this out. Or she'll send me some stuff like real cool on TikTok, and how you can make, like, at first I was hating on TikTok, and she'll tell you, I was just like, I ain't really with that.
He was.
And
He was
and people-
being a boomer about it.
This is true. This is true. I was being old as hell. I was just like, man, I don't need to look at that. I go outside. I was like, outside is TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Look at the sun. Top, tick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm so weak at you.
but no, it's like you make it a safe place for yourself within reason. Like, you know, and sometimes negative things will still find their way in. Whatever you deem negative will find its way in, and it's on you to use the discipline, like we talked about tonight, to eradicate that. You know, like you still have to do the work. That's a big thing about like the whole, everybody's on a spiritual journey kick too. Like, I respect those that when people say that, I really listen intently after they mention that, because I want to hear, like, I'm looking for key things that I haven't found inside of me that can help me like access that part of what am I missing, what can I get better at, and stuff like that. And being a better partner, you saying that made me think about all that, and I just dropped out. So it's like, yeah, I really do want to get better at being a better partner.
So from the book list that you gave, Mercedes, what are at least 3 tips that you can give to someone on their wellness journey from the books that you've read and gathered information from?
What I gathered from prescriptions for natural cures is that there are so many different ways to help our health, whether we're going through a health struggle or whether we're just trying to do preventative care. There is literally something out there to help everyone with every situation that they're going through naturally. I'm not saying it's gonna cure anything, but I am saying you can work with your own body and have your highest level of healing. Like, that's possible. With sickle cell, I still experience the symptoms, but I feel like my experience with sickle cell is really good because I do pay attention to it. I treat it like a baby. And like going through life, you have to treat your mental health like your little baby. You got to constantly be paying attention to it and working in new things, like seeing what works for you, seeing what doesn't work for you. So that is one thing that I gathered from that book. Okay, let's see. The Surrendered Wife. Okay, so I feel like this could apply to, you know, anyone in a relationship, but basically trusting your partner. Like, you chose them for a reason, and sometimes you can not have faith in them, which will have them acting that out. So if you don't really have faith and trust in your partner, they're going to act like your child more than a partner. So from that book, I gathered just treating your partner like you did when you first met them, like everything. I mean, and of course it's going to change, but things were blissful. You did trust and you was getting into it and feeling good about it. So just keep feeling good about it. Like, it's going to be struggles in a relationship, but we got to trust the people that we're with, especially if they're worth it. Like, and you know deep down in your heart if your partner is for you and if you're for them.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was what I gathered from that. And The Power of Now, one of my absolute favorites, one of the ones that started to carry me into my journey. It just taught me about presence, like what it really means to be here and now. A lot of times we do think about the past, and of course the past is our teacher, but we don't have to live in that. We can carry the lessons and move forward and be right here, right now. And I know this is kind of off subject, but it goes well with it. My yoga practice has been teaching me the same exact things that the Power of Now has been teaching me. It's teaching me how to be in that moment, how to be in the moment, let go. Yeah. And how not to think about other things and just think about what it is you're doing. Because the only thing that really matters is what we're doing right now in this very second. Like, it don't matter about me going to have dinner when I'm finished. It don't matter about what I got to do tomorrow. Right now, with you guys, this is what matters, you know?
Right.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
I got to read that book.
Girl,
I got to read it too.
Yeah, I gotta, that's going to be on my list.
Yeah.
Make sure I highlight that. So, we were talking about social media.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about yours.
Okay, so
What's your Instagram name and
where can people follow you at? Because
where can people find you?
You plan this 3 weeks in advance, so we got to make sure we end on time. We got to make sure we get you up out of here.
People really be sometimes getting upset with me about my response time, and I don't mean nothing by it. It's just like I have a lot of in every inbox all the time. Emails, text messages, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. It's just one of me.
Hey,
A working woman.
Mercedes has not officially hired her assistant yet, guys.
No,
relax,
not yet.
relax, guys.
Right. So you all can follow me on YouTube at Vegan Flower Child. It's the same on Instagram, Vegan Flower Child. If you want to personally connect, you can email me at veganflower. Flower has 2 R's in it. veganflowerchild@gmail.com. And on Facebook, my name is Mercedes Hudson. Okay, last one. I get pretty live on TikTok. You can follow me at veganflowerchild1 on TikTok.
Okay. What made you come up with that name?
I was really heavy into my journey at that point. I still am, but vegan was life at that point, and it still is. Like, things have changed with my mindset since then. Sometimes I do think about rebranding, but Flower Child, it's light, it's airy, it's hippie. When you think about a hippie, you think about happy and positivity, joy, and not like toxic positivity, but just a lighthearted nature about everything. Because I will say, in the past, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm doing well, and I'm not really doing well. And I learned that that's not really good to say you're doing okay when you're not. It's good to be truthful in a positive way, if that's, the way that you want to do it. But yeah, Vegan Flower Child came from just loving my lifestyle so much. As far as the food went, I feel like a free spirit naturally at heart. So yeah.
And what are your goals for your social media pages and your YouTube? Okay,
so for YouTube, I want to create content that is just genuine. I want to make sure that one thing that I try not to do is create content based off of just popularity. I want to set the trend instead of trying to follow one. And I feel like that'll come through me just being authentic. So authenticity on my page is really important for me. Now, I do appreciate the subscribers and the people showing love in the comments. And I do desire to be monetized on YouTube. That is like a goal of mine. But I'm being more patient.
You make that money.
Make that money, yeah, because you can give more. When you have more, you can give more.
Right.
So,
true.
And with the other social sites, just making sure that I put out that good, healthy living content so people can inspired. Because I feel like a lot of times we can talk the talk and people want to see you walk the walk. That's
right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Good goals. Especially the money part.
Yeah. We got to have it on this side of life.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it used to be like the only thing I thought about for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is not the most important part. It is an important part, but the authenticity, making sure you're real with your viewers and giving them your best. I think that's the most important part. And everything gonna follow. When you give your best, everything else will follow.
Oh yeah, back to back.
Believe that 100%.
Yeah.
So, what type of things do you talk about on your YouTube channel as far as the vegan flower chat?
Okay, so I I'm cooking a lot on my channel. So I'm making
I like food.
yes, like I'm making herbal soups. I'm making loaded salads because sometimes people think a salad isn't filling, and I'm like, you just gotta top it right. So showing people how to make salads, how to make things that used to remind you of your old lifestyle. So I made scallops from oyster mushrooms with some broccoli and cheese. Looks super good. I do DIYs. So for Christmas, I did like 5 days of Vlogmas, and this was different for me because like I naturally love arts and craft. Like I feel like a child at heart. So I did 5 days of Vlogmas. I would have did more.
Can you show us what you showed us earlier that you was needing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you show that?
What's your new projects?
Because
the blanket I just made too.
that looks so good already.
So
And
what's it gonna be?
It's gonna be a scarf. And
Oh, dude.
what I want to do is just make a bunch of pieces and then give them out on different occasions.
Yeah.
I used to teach a knitting class at a library here in Memphis, and it was really nice. It was maybe 20 children, and we would just go at it every single, Wednesday night?
That's dope.
So I made this blanket, and this was different for me because I needed a border. So I went to the fabric store and I got some ruffles and just put it on with some fabric glue.
It looks so hard to make. It looked like it was so hard to make.
It's a little newborn throw.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I learned how to do that
I love that. I want to learn how to do it.
You know,
it sounds like you had to fly over to Memphis then and get a class.
Right.
Yeah, teach you.
But you better plan it 3 weeks. You better plan it 3 weeks in advance, though. You better plan it 3 weeks in advance.
Or I can watch your YouTube channel where you're gonna teach me how to do it.
You know what?
Virtual. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, yo, is there so you already told us like where the people can find you. Aaron, they know where to find you as well already, but it'll be on the screen. Were there any lasting words that you guys like, you know, individually, like if there's a positive thing you can leave with people, or if you're a quote person, y'all got anything y'all want to drop before I get us out of here?
I'll go first, and then I'll let Mercedes close since she is the star.
Okay.
This is something that I just recently learned today that I just wanted to share with the people of the world and you beautiful people on the screen. Whatever is holding you back, there is something or someone that has the information that you need to progress. And you should pray if you into that, meditate, and believe with your whole heart and mind that you're able to get over whatever is holding you back. And it'll come. That's all I want to say. Mercedes.
Yes. Well, I just want to say thank you to both of you lovely people, T and Aaron. This is my first podcast that I've done. So
oh wow. I'm on one man hearts.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful for the opportunity and for new connections, to deepen our friendship and to start a new friendship with Aaron. So I'm grateful for that. And as far as the people watching, thank you all for tuning in and for choosing to spend your time here with us. We really hope that you take something with you, that you learn something of value. It was a lot of jewels, so I know it's something, but
yeah.
Thank you everyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. That was great. Yes. That was great. We gotta get her back on here.
Oh yeah, she's coming back because like I already have like, an idea for the part 2. I got a lot. We got a lot of stuff we did not even touch on. So
I know.
it's all good. I mean, it's a good introductory episode for people to get to know you. They see your face, and then you know they be like, okay, yeah, I remember she was on there the last time. What they got this time, you know? So
you know what? I might just do 2 weeks for y'all. 2 weeks.
all right.
When we said
She's like, y'all can let me know stuff 2 weeks, 14 days, 14 days. Let's set our countdowns now, guys.
go ahead and schedule.
Oh my God. So, you know, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight to another episode of Lemon Water Chronicles podcast. This is or has been the Life Be Lifing episode of Lemon Water Chronicles podcast. And don't forget, man, when life gives you lemons, make lemon water.
Make lemon water.
Bye, y'all.
Pyro.
Lemon water. When life gives you lemons, make lemon water.